Welcome to Let's Go Live. I'm Gigi Meyer, and I have with me contemporary romance author Sienna Gypsy and my BFF from the other side of the world.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. So I know
Thank
it
you.
takes a minute for everyone to join, and I appreciate you sending out the graphics and you starting this for us.
Oh, you're welcome. I was looking for it and I was just sitting here going, "Oh, wonder if this is going to work."
Exactly. I'm going to lose service, but hi. Hey, Jessica. Okay,
Oh,
so
hello, Jessica.
I know we have all sorts of fun. We're going to have all sorts of visitors in with us today, I think.
That'll be good.
Yeah. Okay, so I have so many questions. I'm going to try and squeeze it all in the
Okay.
hour. I know the pressure's on. So for you guys that don't know, me and Sienna trade like naughty DMs all the time. So we find hot guys on IG and we send as motivation. I don't know how many we send a week.
I'm going to say on my end, one or two. You're good. You send a lot.
It may be an obscene amount, but we all need motivation. And candy never killed anybody. So
It's all about the books. It's all about the books.
exactly. Okay, so tell me, why a contemporary romance author? Why are we drawn to that genre?
I can't answer that. That's something that like it's just what I don't plan what I write. It just happens. Does that? I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but that's just how it happened.
No, I completely understand that. I started writing horror, and I have one book that is so dark and scary. It's very Stephen King-esque. Not that I compare myself to the master of that, but and then I was like, what am I doing? I don't even like this kind of stuff. I don't watch it. I don't read it. So what am I doing writing it?
It was like because I think Mystical Embrace was the first one that I actually had to think about and like try and plan. Um, and that was probably the hardest thing I ever did. And it was a short amount of time I had to do. I remember doing sprints with you at 2 o'clock in the morning for me, and it was morning for you.
Okay, so I was thinking about that tonight about bringing those back because I got so much done.
Yes, but more
Oh,
my time.
okay.
So
I know.
I'm in Sydney right now, so I've got 3 hours from where I live in Perth. So it's if I lived in Sydney, it would work better, I think.
Okay, so it's 7 o'clock Central Standard in Texas. What time is it there? It's
Um,
Thursday.
in in Sydney, it's 11, but actually in Perth, it would be mm, 8, maybe 8 o'clock.
Oh,
Yeah,
so yeah, not as long.
yeah,
Okay, so I'll have to DM you. We'll plan it. We'll sprint together.
yes, that sounds good.
Okay, so you have a new release, Torture to Bliss. But
Yeah.
before we get into that, I want to back up a little bit because I saw the paperback. So is that the same story or is that a rewrite?
So it's a rewrite. So I had Torture the Bliss. Um, I suppose it was the first book I ever wrote,
Mhm.
and I wrote it back in about I think it was 2021, maybe even 2020, and I had it up on WhatsApp and not WhatsApp,
Yep.
Wattpad, and sort of just it got a lot of likes, and I had a couple of people say, you should, publish it, but I didn't know anything about the craft or anything, so I just went, oh yeah, put it up straight away. I think I went through it a little bit and changed a few little things because when I read through it, I realized how bad it was with grammar and stuff. And then I used Pro Writing Aid or something and tried to get it up. Anyway, still there was lots of like mistakes, but I did get some good feedback from it. But the first chapter was very daunting and it had a lot of depth in it, I suppose. And the torture part, I think it was just a bit too much for some readers. And I spoke to Jessica, and she sort of come back with some crucial parts that could be like different, and it was so funny. I was like, no, not changing anything. No, can't do that. And it took me a little while to sort of bring bring it around. We were going backwards and forwards about a few things, and then Yeah, no, and then I loved what everything that she brought to the table, and she was so good about it as well, which is brilliant.
For those of you that are listening, that's Jessica with Deep Roots Editing. So she is our developmental editor that we share, and she is a wonderful soul. So not only does she tell you kind of like the plot holes, the pacing and consistency, but she also builds you up. She'll say, I love
Yes,
this part. She sends all these
yes,
encouraging comments. And so as an author, we love that because we're just like, this is such crap. It's never going to come together. It's never going to make sense. Why am I writing this? And then sweet Jessica comes in and talks you off the ledge, fixes your story, gives you insight, and you're like, okay, I can do this.
yes. Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
Part developmental editor, part author therapist.
Yes, I agree. I agree. There were so many times where I was like, I'm giving up. This is it. Done. Nah, can't do it.
I know.
And then she'd come in
Or
and go,
sometimes you're like, where's the story even going? This doesn't even make sense anymore.
yeah. There were some things that I did get, like she did sort of say, maybe change this or change that. And I was like, oh, no, I don't think I want to change that part. And that was what she said. She goes, it does, just because I say it doesn't mean you have to do it. She said, this is just my advice, which was great because some people sort of, I don't know, I've had somebody say, oh no, get that out, and didn't really give you a choice. And I think that hurts more.
No, no, I like your point about that because sometimes when you get these back from whether it be like alpha readers, beta, some people are, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to change all this. They think that just because you get advice, you have to take all the pieces. And
Mm,
so I like how you said, no, I'm going to disseminate it for myself and pick out which ones I think are good that need to be changed. Then I'm going to keep some of the other elements too.
mm, mm. Yeah, no, it definitely worked. And I mean, again, I've had more feedback this time with the release. I think the story's definitely 100% stronger. Um, even like I've had two people reread it that had read the other version of it, and they loved it. So, and the ending's more clear. I think I really left it. I mean, even though I left it on a cliffhanger on the first time around, um, there was lots of things unsolved.
Mhm.
So, with the developmental editor, I learnt to solve some things.
Okay, so
So
you
yeah,
wrote that book in 2021, and
yes,
you put out a second book though in between the rewrite.
yes, that was our midnight chats.
I remember that.
Mr.
So,
Yeah,
how long is it? How long did it take you to write?
which one, mystical or
Cool.
mystical? Mystical was fast. I reckon Mystical was probably 2 months, maybe 3 months. Because I
And
remember that's when I met Jessica. And I think I reached out to you and then I got hold of Jessica and then she was brilliant. She was on it really quick. She knew I had a quick turnaround and she really nailed what needed to be changed. And so I could put it out there, which was brilliant.
yeah, she's really good. I'm always, that Taylor Swift song, It's Me, I'm the Problem. You know, it's,
Me too.
it's always me, And so her, I keep swearing to her, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get organized and I'm going to have an outline and I'm going to send it to you and we're going to talk about it before you even start writing. So
It's never happening with me.
I know. So it's like the road, what do they call it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Shoot,
I like that. I'm going to keep
I
that.
think that road. It's like so many times now, and so she's good. She's flexible, is what I'm trying to say. And so I
Yeah.
will send stuff to her, and I've gotten in this habit where I send her like the first half of the story
Yeah.
while I'm still trying to figure out what the rest of the story is. I'm like, can you help me determine where we're going with this?
That's exactly what I've just done with the second book. So I've just about finished writing the second book. I'm so like I think I'm on the last two chapters, and I'd sent it because I'd finished Torture to Bliss, and I'd already written so much of the second book, and I was like, I'm just stuck. I'm completely stuck, and I think because I'd left it for so
Yeah.
long, um, and then I'm lucky that I said to Jessica, look, I'm going to send it to you. It's not finished. It's not edited. There's going to be words missing, but good luck. And she was brilliant. She sent it back, and it actually gave me somewhere to go. And then I was actually sitting downstairs with my husband this morning, and I was like, I'm really stuck about this part. What should I do? And I was spilling out the story, and he was like, such a bloke, break some more arms, break, you know, do some more.
I know. I love
So
it.
yeah.
She'll be like, I'm not sure what this means. And I'll get it back. And I'm like, I'm not sure what it means either. I don't even know what that
There was about 5 sentences like that, and then she goes, I'd highlighted some parts, and I can't even remember why I highlighted them. And then
was.
she wrote in the comments, "Really don't know why this is highlighted. It was not me."
You're like, I don't know either. I do the same thing. I have a document that I'm working on right now. And so parts are highlighted. I'm like, huh, what does that mean?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
me.
You wrote that pretty quick then.
I wrote it back when I first finished Torture to Bliss, so back in 21, 22, and
Mhm.
I'd done a lot of work sort of just really like it took a while, um, but it had like a good base to it. So I've already started book 3 um, in that series, but again, it's just bits and pieces of it. Like it's not. I'm definitely a pantser, but I just sort of jot down a chapter and then jot down another chapter and then have an idea and put it somewhere so I've got to remember that idea sort of thing and then go for it.
So is Mystic then a standalone?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So that there won't be any other books in that world, or at
I don't
least not.
think so. I was a bit actually I got told off by one of my readers today, I think it was this morning,
What?
because I had an interview the other day and I stated in it that it was my first sort of paranormal and I probably wouldn't write it again because I didn't think I was that good at it. And she was like, I'm really disappointed you said that. She said, because I loved it. And I was like, okay,
Oh my gosh, that was
thank
a
you.
compliment though, right?
Yeah, no, they're the compliments that you need as an author, though, because I think we all get that imposter syndrome. I get it severely. Like I really think I'm, way above I'm hitting way above my pay grade half the time. But yeah, it was really like lately I'm getting a lot of that, which is really cool. I've got a few solid readers at the moment, not a lot, just a few, and I'm loving them. Yeah, it's great.
It is great. I know we if you read a lot like me and you do, then you see people and you're like, I want to emulate their writing and how do I make mine like theirs? And so sometimes I don't ever know how to do that because I only know how to write how I write. And I'm like, damn it, I wish
Exactly.
I like the way they write.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's learning like there's one thing that was hard for me because I struggle. I have like dyslexia and I also have like an audio processing disorder. So holding information's hard and also comprehending what I'm reading is hard. And then also reading, if there's a lot of words and they're close together, that's hard for me as well. So I tend to use a lot of gadgets to help that. And listening back to what I've written normally helps, which poor Jessica didn't get that when I sent it to her. I had not listened to it not once.
Well, bless your heart. Those are some challenges. So,
Yeah,
what are some tools? Like, if any like newer aspiring authors have that, what are those tools that you use in case they have the same issues?
I have all Mac, so I just get it to read back to me. So Zuri, I just highlight and press read or speak, and it's my lifesaver. Even reading any Apple books, because I normally try and buy an Apple book before I'll buy a Kindle because Kindle doesn't do it.
Mm.
Um, so I try and buy an Apple book because I can listen to it and read it. I can read it, but I need complete silence around me for me to be able to grasp what I'm reading. But if it is third person, I'm shot. I can't read it. I can't. My brain can't grasp the story at all.
So, Apple has a feature on their e-reader that it can do read to
Yes,
you. Yeah, I've seen that, and I think as an author, I've used that because I feel like you can hear your mistakes
yes,
so much, like they come through. I get like my eyes get blind to my mistakes, but when you do read to you or read aloud, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, you can hear them so much better.
yes. Yeah, I found that was someone. It was another reader. I think LB Heart Dog. He was the one that kept saying to me, "Make sure that you listen to what you're writing because you'll find a lot more mistakes than if you're going to read it back." And I was like, I will take that on.
Oh, and there's also the tip that like when you're editing, I know there's some authors that they start at the back and they read the last
Ah,
this way, because you know how sometimes when you're editing your own book, you end up just turning it into like you're reading it, a read along, and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be editing it. But I have a couple that I've said I start at the end, because when you go that way, you're not reading it, you're just truly editing it. I was like,
yeah.
that is genius.
That's actually not too bad an idea. I mean, I tend to, I'm a bit, I'll tend to write, and if I get stuck, I go back and do some editing because then as I come back along again, it'll, it's more stories come because I never know what I'm writing. I like if I've got an idea how it starts, I have no idea how it ends. It just happens.
Yeah, true pantser.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like, and I always commit to Jessica. I'm like, this time it's going to be different. I'm going to have an outline and I'm going to follow it until the death of me. And I get to do that. Like, I always tell her that at the beginning of every book, and then it just goes haywire. And I look at my outline and I'm like, oh, this is garbage. I don't even want to write that story. Why did I pick these scenes?
That was what I was like with the third book. I thought I'll just put things down, and it's the most I've come to actually writing, like I suppose planned,
Yeah.
but still, it's not really coming to me yet. So I think I've done 2 or 3 chapters already, but I still don't know where it's going.
Okay, so Torture to Bliss, how long did that take you to rewrite? Because I know that our first books are the debut novel for most authors. They're brutal, right? And
Yeah.
and they're supposed to be, because as our career advances, we get better in our writing craft, and we learn some tips and along the way. And so, but to I haven't had any author say I want to go back and rewrite my debut, because they're like, oh, it's so grueling.
I love that story. Like that's the first story that I did do, and I really like. I have like I don't know, I did a real pull to it.
Oh.
Um, it's I did want to get it right that one because there's a few things in it that are pretty close to my heart. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I do love the story of the other characters. I have been told by a couple, especially my 2 beta readers that I have, that they love the family feel. The other characters, they think about them all the time, and it was just the first book, and they can't wait to figure out what happens in the second book because of the next 2 characters, sort of thing. And still to catch up with the ones that they just read, sort of thing. So I think that's cool.
Aw. So that's definitely your book, baby.
Yes, yeah.
So how long did the rewrite take you?
Um,
Those can be longer than writing the actual story
mm,
sometimes.
I think it was 3 months. Maybe it might have been when I decided to do it. I think it was once I put my head to it to say, right, I'm doing it.
Mhm.
I think it was 3 months, um, which was pretty long considering it was already written, I think. And I was doing stuff, I was trying to do chapter or 3 chapters a night. Um, and it's quite a big book. That book's a big book. So that book's pretty much, I think it's 993,000 words. So it's like it's
Okay.
a decent side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the next one's not as thick, so I'm hitting about 60,000 words at the moment, so it's not as big, but the story's pretty punchy.
Okay, so take us through the second book. Where are you at? Does it pick up on the same storyline? Is it a
Yes,
continuation?
yep. So the whole of the story is the same, I suppose. It's like there's always somebody trying to get involved and do nasty stuff. And there's a bigger threat coming. But through the story, there's also the story of the characters that are together. So the way the first book's about Drew and Stasia and how they met and how they entwined from an earlier meet that they both didn't realize, and it's got a lot of plots and things happen in that book. So and then this next book, so Stasia's best friend was Sophie, and Drew's best friend is Bullet. So those two they sort of both hook up in the first book, and you can see the relationship grow. But Sophie has a little girl with disabilities, and she's very reluctant to move or meet anybody because of the life she had prior that nobody really knows about until this book.
Ooh. Okay, so disability representation is not that common. what made you decide to write that? Because I love it. It's just not really
Yeah.
presented.
Um,
Do you
my
have all
daughter,
the
yeah, my
ability?
daughter's has disability. I have disabilities myself, like with my reading and writing and stuff. But my daughter has multiple disabilities, and Kita's pretty much based on her. So that's probably why it's quite special to me as well. My daughter is deaf. She has an intellectual disability, and she also has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. So, and quite a powerful little rascal. But she's 27 now, so she's not young.
Okay, does she know that a character in your book is based upon her?
No, 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 no. She knows that I write, and she's been looking at my books going, seriously? That's what she says to me. Whatever, book, she goes.
So she does not care what
No,
mom is doing. That's like
no.
the
My
world.
sons know. They sort of know I've been writing, but they're like, we're not reading it. Do not give it to our girlfriends. Just
Especially the spicy scenes. They're like, oh, mom, no.
they freak if they read it. They're very they don't see that side of any adult. And they're 30 and 29 and they're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, but they never question how they got here, like a store.
No, no. Or that one already has three children, but no, mum and dad don't do that.
Yeah, a baby store, a stork came and delivered us on the doorstep, is how it came about.
Correct. Yeah.
But I love that there's disability representation. My mom was disabled, obviously almost my whole life. And so I find it fascinating when people write that. It's a tough representation to write. It's
Yeah.
even harder to do it right. But I feel like when you have an immediate family member, it makes it easier. And there's unfortunately still this stigma around disabilities. And I don't get that. Unfortunately, they're a lot more common than we think.
Yeah. I think I mean, I work in the industry as well, so it's definitely it's not an easy industry to work in. It's quite um, isolated, I would say. Like there's not a lot of knownability about what's out there for people and how people can make it different. But yeah, I always said that. I mean, I always said that I would write if I needed to, if I felt I would do it. And the little things that my daughter used to get up to when she was younger was hilarious, and I've just added those little things into it. So yeah,
Well, from the little bit that we've traded back and forth about her, she seems like one, a firecracker, two, a very free spirit.
yes, Bree is definitely who she is.
I feel like you're just holding on by your hair.
I do. I like half the time, and it's definitely challenging having somebody with with a disability bring it, especially with an intellectual disability, because their comprehension and what they understand about what you're talking about is it's quite narrow. But she has the biggest character. She thinks she's a bit of a gangster, which is I blame her father for that. Um, she's hilarious. Like she does a bit of modeling and a bit of catwalking and her own sort of designs and stuff. But most of the models, especially male models, if they come up and meet her, they sort of go to her, "Oh, hi, sweetheart, how are you?" And she's like, "What's up?"
But don't you think that's wonderful? My nephew has some severe mental disabilities. And so people always think that they don't have a personality, or they're a lot of times, trapped by their disabilities. I'm like, you guys have no
Yeah,
idea.
that's
Sometimes
exactly right.
it's almost a blessing, because I know with my nephew in particular, he has like no filter, but he also has no fear, no
Yeah,
shame. So he will do the wildest, craziest, funnest, funny things, because
yeah,
it's just so joyful to be around him.
yeah, yeah.
But
I agree. They do.
I'm glad I'm not his parent. I mean, I pray for, he's let me think, it's my niece's son, right? So
Yeah.
that'd be my great nephew. Um, she's quite militant, so I'm kind of glad that that's his mom, because they're totally opposite and they balance each other out.
Yes, no, I've definitely learned a lot from my daughter.
So on that second book, do you have a name, a
Yes,
title you want to tell, or do you have a cover
yes.
design?
I've got a cover nearly done, which I'll be launching probably in the next few weeks, I reckon. Um, the title's Illicit Roads. It's up on. I've got it up for pre-order already, like just without the picture at the moment on Amazon. But yeah, Illicit Roads.
Okay, say that again.
Illicit Roads.
Illicit Roads. Okay, I thought I saw that on there when I was kind of stalking you on Amazon.
Oh, come stalk me. No. Yes, yes, it's up there. So I haven't put the front
Front
cover
one.
up yet. Yeah, so not hasn't released yet, but won't be long. It'll be
But
soon.
I did forget to look at the release date. When do you have it planned?
December, because I have a signing in January, so I need it done by December so I can order some copies to sell.
That's okay. That'll be here before you know it. So where is
Yes,
your venue? Where can people come and see you?
I'm at Adelaide, so I'll be in Adelaide on the 18th of January, and it's called A Romantic Affair.
Okay, so you're gonna have a booth with your books.
Yes, yes, my very first one, so I'm a bit excited.
Oh, you'll do good. I have not done
Oh,
that
thank
yet, but
you.
I do want to do one. But I keep I stalk Instagram because you know how people have those beautiful displays and those like I don't even know what they're called. They're like the pull-up posters or something like that. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. That's good. I don't even know. I haven't organized that part yet. I've got to think about that. I've just come up with some pretty cool thoughts lately of what to bring because everyone brings lots of little bits and pieces. And one of my girlfriends, she does earrings and stuff, and I've asked her a few little questions about some naughty earrings, and she was like, "I'll give it a go." So I was like, "Cool, let's see how they go."
Oh, that'll be so fun. You
Yes.
have to DM me those if they're naughty.
I, w-
Yeah.
I will. I will.
Okay, so you said that book is coming in about 60,000 words right now.
Yes.
Where do you
Uh,
think it'll top out of? And when will you have it done? I guess do you turn it back over to Jessica or
yeah.
are you done?
I need to. Oh yeah. I know. I'll be sending it back to Jess, and then I will put it to the line editor after that, and then the beaters, and then up. So
Will your ARC readers will be available for ARC?
yes, yes, that'll be straight after. I do it because I'm doing it so quickly. I'll probably do it like Tortured Bliss. I actually did that quite quickly too, where it was like arcs, and they only had like a week turnaround, and bless their hearts, they did it. I was very excited the way they really jumped in really quickly and did it. And then I said, as soon as they came in and everything was good, I was straight to the arcs. And I didn't care if it was after um, release that the arcs had put up their stuff. It didn't really bother me. I was just happy to get what if they enjoyed the book, just their thoughts on it, really. So yeah,
I feel like there's such a sweet spot with ARCs, right? You give it out too soon, then you have those that are voracious and then they can't really put up their reviews, but only on, like Goodreads. But then if you have it too late, then yeah, you're right. It runs after, which I don't mind running after. Shoot, we'll take a review anytime, right?
yes, yeah. It's nice just to hear some things, but even like people like I had a couple of DMs from some amazing readers, which is really cool. And that's just so I don't think people realize how much that actually helps us write. I don't think anybody realize how much an author needs that cheerleader.
Oh my gosh, we love when people slide into our DMs.
Yes. Yeah.
It, and it's interesting because I think some readers are hesitant. I don't know if it's because some of the bigger authors they don't accept private messages, or you just go into that one category. I can't think of what it's called. Like general or not primary, and they get lost that way. But I know when I love to receive them. I love to
Mm,
engage with readers too. I mean, they have such insights and they see your characters differently than we do.
yes, I agree. And yeah, and even the way you've envisioned them, um, how they envision them, it's completely different.
I had done a photo of one of mine, and everybody was like, "That's not what he looks like." I'm like, "Well, that's what he looks like, kind of on the cover, and in my mind." And it was just like the mass majority were like, "That's not what he looks like," and I was like, "Well, what do you think he looks like? I have him on the cover."
Yes. Yeah, that's so true. Because I had somebody read Torture to Bliss, and her idea of what he, because I don't, I think I didn't put a lot of description of him in there, but yeah, when she came back, she had all these ideas, and I was like, wow, mine's completely opposite. But great to know what you like.
Well, and I think it's good, right? Because there's some that do like to have, the basics, like maybe, the hair color and the eye color and a general build, but they do want to fill in the blanks.
Yes, yeah. I think that's it's a bit of a pathway. Some like, some don't, and the sweet spots, I don't think there is one.
I don't think there is either. On the spice scale, how do these weigh out?
I don't think they're that spicy. I was thinking they were really spicy because I'm quite new at it. So I was thinking that they were really spicy, but no, they're not really that spicy. I reckon two or three chili peppers. The story's a lot stronger. I think it's more about the story. I probably need to work on the heat a bit in the future, but I know like the story was more important to me, and I'm a bit of a, that's like what I like to read as well. The story's got to be punching for me to read it. So yeah.
I feel like there is something for everybody because you can make one like super spicy, and people are like, "There's no plot, like there's no
No, yeah.
story." And then when you focus more on the story, there's like, "Where's the spice?" And you're
Yes.
like, "Which is it?"
You've
I don't
got,
know
yeah, that
what that percent.
wait, yeah, weighing it up's not easy.
I know you're like, is it percentage of the book? Is it so many scenes? Like, let's make this like a formula.
I think I'm just in the learning stage, so I'm never going to say I'm like I've got this because I don't. I really don't.
I know. I was listening to an author, and she was trying to like, we all have beat sheets. There's romancing the beat, there's hero's journey, and so you try and match that. But for us pantsers, it's so hard. And so
Oh
I was,
yeah.
let me figure out how many spicy scenes I want, and maybe then I can figure out where I'm at on the chili pepper rating.
I think there's only like three or four in my book, max spicy scenes, and they're not pages long either. They're very wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Sorry.
You're like, I'm not dwelling in there.
There's more stuff to get done.
Yeah. I like to figure it out with the readers. Okay, so Chris, yeah, tell us how many years has in a typical book. I'll be curious to know.
What was that?
Um, Chris Woods,
Oh
she,
yeah.
yeah. So she's like, I know, because I have some that are just like, this is borders on like, the big E word, which we won't see on here. And then
Yeah.
others are like, oh, this is such a good story. So you're like, it's not spicy enough. So I'm like, I don't even know where we're going with this thing. I don't know what the
It's
right
hard. I think it's hard to, and I'm still in that. I should be too old to get embarrassed to talk about it,
scenes
but
or
you
percentage. I don't know.
you
Probably,
do.
yeah. So you have your trusted readers. Do they help you out, as you're writing? Do you kind of send bits over other than Jess?
No, only Jess is the only one at the second, and I've never had beaters. I've never had a team of that before. I had a really small group of beaters, which were absolutely beautiful. When I first wrote um, Torture to Bliss, and
Mhm.
they helped me a lot, and I learned a lot about the craft with that group. Um, and then again, you've got to mix with people to learn. Yeah, it's doing things together and writing things. When I wrote Mystical Embrace and had the authors that were all involved in that anthology,
Mhm.
that's where I learnt the most. Like Meg in that group was, man, she was harsh with those edits, but it was worth it. Like I don't mean that in a horrible way. She really taught me a lot going through that process, and I really enjoyed what I learnt in writing Mystical Embrace. That was my biggest learning curve, I think, so far. And I know I've got plenty more to go.
You're talking about is author Meg Stratton, and so
Yes.
she has a fair amount of anthologies. I was really honored to be in one that we published this past summer in August. And so she is good. She writes a megaverse, and there's something else, a megaverse and shifters, I
I think
think.
shifters, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, she's really good. She's a great ringleader for all of us baby.
Yes, yes.
It's like wrangling cats, and she is the best cat wrangler I've ever seen.
I agree. Yeah.
I could never do what Meg does, so she knows that she has my utmost respect. I love her. I could never do what she does.
I remember I said to her Mystical Embrace before I edited it, and I'm sure she thought she needs to get out. This is not going to work.
And you're out of the anthology. Thank you.
That's what I was expecting.
Oh,
And I even sent her a message, if this isn't up to scratch, you can tell me, I won't be offended. And then she was like, no, I do really would inspire you to go and get an editor. And that's when I met
yeah.
Jess, and that helped heaps. But yeah, and then she sort of came in after Jess as well and did little things that I could change. It was more grammar and stuff, and that's my weak point. So
Ugh, girl, same. That's why we're writers and we're not editors.
that's exactly right.
Oh, she writes Why Choose. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. No, she's really good.
So on that anthology, so then on Torture to Bliss, and you have the second one, and then that'll come out in December.
Yeah.
The third one you've already started writing, but
Yeah, so then I've
time,
it's not all done. I've started writing it.
time?
Pardon?
You're writing them at the same time?
Sort of. Like you go, at the moment I haven't touched it, but then we went somewhere the other day and I put on this song and it just reminded me of those two characters in the third book, and I just started writing, and I think I wrote 2 chapters while I was getting a pedicure on my phone.
Oh, dang, good for you. I would love that.
It just sort of just kept coming, and I just kept going, oh yeah, and then yeah. So that's sitting there waiting to be put in there, but I don't know where. It's more the beginning. So it was the prelogue. I think I put it in as the prelogue at the beginning. So I think I said it right. This is where I'm really crap. So I'm not sure how to pronounce things sometimes. Like I was on an interview on Monday, and I've never said your name live. I say it in here. So when I said it, I was like, I think it's Gigi Myers. And then I was like, yeah, I know it's Gigi Myers, but is that how you say it?
Yep, you got it.
So yes.
I was at the gym today, and this gentleman in my class, and because I was taking the class, and he's German, and he said Gigi.
Oh.
So okay, say that again. Because I always say Gigi, and he's like Gigi. I'm like, oh, that is hot.
Come say that again. Just come have coffee with me.
Except for he's in his 80s, and his name is Rolf. So Rolf. That is a cool name. I need to use that. How cool is that name as an alpha male wolf?
Yeah.
And he growls, right?
Oh, that's good.
Together. So, Sienna, do you find scenes then out of order and then kind of like weave them all together?
I'm new at this. So the first book was chapter by chapter.
Okay.
This book was chapter by chapter until the last one before I gave it to Jess, and then it's come back, and now I'm still doing chapter by chapter towards the end. At the end. Book 3, I still think I'm doing chapter by chapter because I've just sort of written like a little prologue and a little bit in chapter 1. So it's still chapter by chapter. It just needs more abbreviation, I think.
Okay. I thought you were writing a scene and just piecing it all together. I'm like, what? But I love
No, and if I did that, I'd get lost.
There are some authors, not very many, that I've talked to that they do. They're just like all these different scenes everywhere, and then they weave them all together. I'm like, what is this sorcery? I don't even understand. How do you even do that? So
my brain wouldn't work. No.
Oh yeah, same. But I liked your point though about when you said, well, I'm still new at this, but even though you do have 2 published works and you're about to have a third one, We feel that way, right? Because as writers, I think, your first book and your first draft is always telling yourself the story, but it's also us learning about us as writers, how we work. Are we, a morning, a night? Do we write at the nail salon?
Yeah.
It's just trying to figure out what your writing practice, what type of writer you are. Are you a first person? Are you a third person? It's just all of that. Am I a past tense or present tense? And it takes some time, like riding a bike. The more you do it, the better you get. And I think a lot of new and aspiring authors think like, well, I should just quit. And I always say, no, just keep going. Like we all want to quit every day. You have a terrible writing session, you go to publish. I mean, there's a million reasons to quit this
Yeah.
field.
Yeah. There is.
But no.
But yeah. No, yeah, there is. But you have your ups and downs. I think every author has them where you put it away, you think it's crap, you're not getting anything from it, you're not making any, and you think, no, not doing it, giving up, or, and then a couple of weeks later or a couple of days later, you have an idea and you think, oh, bugger 'em, I'll get back onto it now.
I love that. So book 3, how long do
hmm
you think it'll take you to write, and when do you want to try and go to publish?
I want to try and get it done. I would like to try and get it done before April if I can. Because I know March before if I can, because I've got another book signing in March and it'll be great to have 3 books at the March one. But I also have one in May, so maybe I won't have one for that one. I haven't made up my mind. I'm going to wait until I finish this number 2 to put a date on it. But I'm hoping at the very latest in time for the May signing.
You have a bunch of signings next year. Good for you.
Yeah, three all in Australia. So one in Adelaide, which is down the bottom of Australia, a little bit in the middle, and 2 in Perth. So, yeah, one day I want to come. I was talking to my husband. I want to go to the Texas one that Colleen Hoover does. I'd love if I could get into that. I know it'd be hard,
Okay, girl, I am.
but I would love to do
I don't
it.
even know what that one is. What do you? I don't need. And I'm
Oh,
into
really?
yeah.
What's the name of it? I can't remember the name of it now,
Her.
but I know she has it, and she does it, and she does a charity behind it, and
Mhm.
I really like what she does, so that's why I would like to do it.
So when you go, we're
Oh,
gonna meet up.
oh yes, and any of the more American authors that I've met, definitely, it's a big catch up.
So she used to be in Dallas, and then she moved down to Galveston. So Dallas is 4 hours from me. Galveston's an hour on the coast, and so I don't know where she's back at now.
Mm.
Because every
Yeah,
time we like to get these hurricanes, as you know.
yes, yes, that's pretty big over
Yeah,
there.
us in Florida have been, wiped off the map a few times now. So,
Yeah, yeah. We get them sort of south from where we live, and up north in on the west side, but we're not too bad this year. Touch wood.
but we'll have to catch up. So you let me know if you're coming because it'll
Mm.
be a road trip to wherever you are.
I'll be loud about it. Don't worry.
So, will you wrap up the series in these 3 books?
No, because I've already sort of planted, like in the first book, there's a young bloke called Corey, and at the very end, he's taken by the bad crew, the trafficking crew, and he's one of the bikers. And Nova, which is his sort of mate, he his sister went missing like years ago, and they couldn't find her, and that's where Corey's gone, and he's going to end up finding her. So.
Oh,
Sorry, that's probably a bit too much for you guys, but anyway, that was where my brain's gone with that one. So there's more, and it just keeps flowing. So each character keeps having something.
okay. So would that be an interconnected series? Would he get his own 3 books?
No, I think it's just going to be all part of Angels of Fury, because that's the bikers gang name,
Yeah.
or biker crew or club. So yeah, it's just all part of that, and because there's the trafficking side of things that we're going into, I think I've got to pick my game up a bit. But I think that's where we could probably bring some mafia or something in as well. That's where my brain's sort of going. But I haven't, like, again, as I said, I don't know the story until it happens. Like, it just evolves as it goes. So
Oh, so
they're
you
the
have
little tweaks that I've had.
that'll grow. So
Yeah.
you'd said contemporary romance with a little bit of dark. So are they going to get
Yeah.
darker? Sounds like they're going to get darker.
I don't know, it might. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go as we go. As again,
I know, but can you imagine mafia and motorcycle coming together? Ooh,
mm, there needs to be a bit of a mafia princess, I think.
I don't know if anyone's done that before.
Don't know, but that's where I'm at. So either that or maybe it's a biker princess and a don't know.
Sienna Gypsy, motorcycle mafia. I like that. So switching gears to like the business side, what
Mm.
is the easiest and hardest? I don't know. What's the easiest and hardest part about being an author?
Writing and making sure I can't read it is the easiest part.
That's the easiest part. Up to Jeff Pfeiffer.
The rest is hard. Getting readers is hard. Getting a following is hard. Getting your name out there for people to know that you actually write is hard. Um, all of that sort of stuff. Even I've only just started doing emails and have a Facebook group now, which is really small at the second. But I'm just starting to get into that side. But then I don't think I'm not big enough to like. No, I'm still new. Like as I said, I'm still learning. I'm still new. There's a long journey for me ahead yet. So
Okay, what is your Facebook group name so people can look and find you?
oh gosh, now I've got to remember it. I think it's Gypsy Hearts. Gypsy, yeah, Gypsy Hearts Devoted Readers. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so I am not on Facebook. I wish I was, but you know that whole bit. So what are the things though that you've tried? So the newsletter is
Yes.
new, which is exciting. The reader
Yes.
is new. What have you tried that works well for you and what has not worked out? Because I feel like, and as an author, we're constantly testing, pivoting, trying to figure out the direction to go.
Getting the right material to put up on social media so people know what's going on. And I just get blank. I get a wall of blank. The other thing I find hard is people go, "Oh, give me a synopsis of your book." I'm like, I go, "Blah, blah." Actually, I did it to my husband this morning. He goes, "Well, tell me what it's about." And I was told him, and he goes, "You're crap at that." And I went, "I know, I really am."
I heard in a marketing class, it's like a log line is what they call it. And so it's
Yeah.
supposed to be one or two sentences. And I love these authors that say, oh, it's Star Wars and Princess Diary had a baby. And you're like, oh my gosh, I get it.
Oh,
No,
someone did say, someone did say to me that Torture to Bliss was like, I don't know if Americans uh, know this movie, but Once Were Warriors Cross Sons of Anarchy is what um, someone had said that the book felt like, which so Once Were Warriors is a New Zealand movie with Jake the Muss. He's in a lot of the Star Wars movies now, but it's a really good story. So yeah, that's what I got from it.
girl,
So that was cool.
dude, I would use that everywhere. I would use it everywhere. That's my new identity. That's what I would say.
Uh, I might do that.
Okay, so what has worked for you though? Because I know readership and reach, and that's always challenging. I feel like there's social media managers that are so gifted and talented at knowing what to put up and how it resonates.
Mm.
That's me either. I feel your pain.
Yeah, I don't have any help at the moment. It's just me. It's yeah, it's not that easy to put some stuff up. I don't know. I think I'm still learning. Like at the moment, it's just I have an idea and then I go, oh, I'll do this and I do all these posts and I get them all done and I'm great for a month and then I'm like gone. I'm off.
It's so
And it's not because I don't want to be there. It's because I don't know what to post.
it's so hard to be consistent though, because as an author and when you're an indie, you're wearing all the
Yeah.
hats. I'm either on social media or I'm writing or I'm doing my newsletter or I'm on social media or I'm
Yes.
doing, lives like this. So it's challenging.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, it's freezing a little bit.
Oh, it froze a bit. Yeah, no, you're back again.
There we are. Okay, so what advice would you give new or aspiring authors?
I reckon change your mindset. Um, the
Mm.
biggest thing that is an issue is I think being an author, one thing I'm learning, and I think I'm good with criticism, as long as it's good criticism. Um, it's making sure you take it on as not as hurt, but as find what it is that they're talking about and see if you can take it on and change it. That's the hardest thing, I think, and I think it's if you can change your mindset for that, you're just going to build strength.
So taking the constructive criticism, which sometimes comes
Mm,
with reviews, if you read your reviews and you're like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, and it's not it's too it's I can't say not take it to heart because you wouldn't be human if you didn't. Um, but yeah, I think if you can try and have your sook, which I do, don't worry, I definitely do. I sit there and I have a sook, I have a bit of patty about it, and then I'm like, right, now pull your socks up and let's just see if you can fix it.
okay. So Andy Warhol is a famous American painter, and I don't, he's done his Marilyn Monroe prints. He's an American painter, but he's well known throughout the world. And he has this great quote. He said about his paintings because people are like, I don't get it, right? They're very modern and abstract. And he said, it's not for me to judge if they're good or bad. It's for the world to decide.
Yeah,
My business is just to keep painting. And I'm like, oh, that is so good.
that's good. Yeah,
Because I think that readers or even some of your vendors, well-intended editors, I've heard people say they kill off authors' careers because they could be a little bit too harsh, or they could they may not be the right fit, and so they don't believe in your product.
mm,
They over edit it, and it does kill a lot of people because we are putting ourselves in our work, and then we're putting our work out to the world to be judged.
exactly. Yeah, no, I think definitely harsh stuff should be. There's a way to say things. You can be kind and also give criticism. I think that's what I'm thinking about. But yes, you're right. Some editors are ruthless and harsh.
Yeah, I am guilty where if I have a do not finish or if I don't resonate with that
Had
story,
one. Had one.
I will not, you will never, ever, ever hear me say anything. I won't post
Yeah.
it. I won't do a review. I'm not going to be the voice that torpedoes someone else.
Did you know how it feels? So it's yeah, I've got one up on Amazon at the moment. I did not finish, and she stated that it's things, and she stated why. But I've taken. I think I actually like that what she put up for that one. It stung a little bit, but I actually like what she put up because I think it's something I can learn from. I don't know if it was done, through her just, but if that's how she felt, I've taken it on board. Hmm.
I do read my reviews, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Um, the ones that critique my writing, or even if like typos, oh my gosh, it slips by. There's like five eyes, right? So it's mine, Jess. Then I also have my line editor, which is Roxy Lee, and she's over in your neck of the woods.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so,
yeah. I'm meeting Roxy in Adelaide. I can't wait.
okay,
Mm,
so I would love to be there. She's awesome. And then, I have about three, anywhere from 2 to 4 beta readers, just depending on their schedule. They're alpha readers. It can get by all of our eyeballs, typos. I'm like, what the heck, man? But like
mm.
you, I've read the reviews, and if they give me a 2 because they don't like my character, I'm completely fine with that
Yeah,
because it means my character seems human to them, and I did my job as an author, right?
yeah, agreed. Mm.
Yeah, there are a few that get some criticism as to our writing style or dialogue or something like that, and I'm just like, yeah, this hurt a little bit, but it'll just make us better.
Yes, correct. I agree.
So, how do you write? What kind of technology do you use? Are you using like Google Docs, Scrivener, Word,
Scrivener,
etc.?
yeah, yeah. I use Scrivener, and then I go over to Word, um, and then eventually I move it to Google Docs because I send it to Amanda, or I call her AJ. Um, she's in our author group and she does my formatting for me. She's done all the pictures of my latest book and also of Mystical Embrace, because there's in the books there's some beautiful artwork and stuff which I'm really pleased with. So yeah, it's been good.
That's AJ Knight, correct? No, that's Luna Knight. Who's
No,
AJ?
Anton, I can't remember her last name. I can't even look it up.
No, we cannot. I know they try to shout out those, but I was thinking Luna Knight, but that's not AJ.
I
There's
just know I always call her AJ, but it's Amanda Ashton. Ashton?
because did she do your one, do your formatting for Torture to Bliss? Because
Yes,
those, okay, in
yes,
your
yes.
illustrations,
And mystical embrace is the same. So yeah.
those are stellar. So if you guys have not seen, you have a post on it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I don't have one here in Sydney. I was gonna. My husband said bring a book, and I was like, I was thinking for the interviews, but he was thinking to give to somebody, and I was like, no.
But you have those illustrations are so good. So she has illustrations at the chapter headings, and then you have that one. Is it just at the end of every chapter with the motorcycle for Torture to Bliss?
Yeah, so it's at the beginning of every chapter, and then there's like on the chapter side on the left hand side, there's a picture of whoever's talking
Oh,
point
the
of
picture.
view. Mm,
Ooh, those are so good. I love those. Did
yeah.
A do those for you too?
Yes. So I found the pictures and I sort of played with them a little bit digitally, made them a little bit more sort of get like more of a sketch.
Yeah.
And she put them. She sort of did her thing on them too. So she played with it a little bit as well. So I used Canva to sort of play and pixel it a little bit, and then yeah, she did hers.
Well, yeah, I love Canva because it's a very cost-effective tool and resource for us authors. So you
Yes, I agree.
and Scribner, I love Scribner, but it has
Oh
a
gosh.
steep learning curve.
Oh yeah, you've got to learn as you go because if you get stuck, you go down this tunnel and you forget to write.
I know because I was like, I'm going to be a big girl because I do everything in Word, so old fashioned. And then,
I go in when I'm writing, when in the writing journey, I go in and it's incognito or whatever. It shuts off all your social media and everything, and then you can put like a bit of a theme behind it and put the paper up and start writing like a typewriter. That's
oh,
how I write because it's keeps me in the world of what
so
I'm
good.
writing, which is good. Yeah.
No, I love Scribner because, when we have all these ideas, like you were saying, you had an idea, you can just drop it into Scribner and it can just kind of hang out in the notes and then you can kind of populate where it goes. Well, in Word, you cannot do that. Okay. All your
No.
notes sit
Yeah.
at the bottom.
It's all in one little pocket, which is
Your
great. And even your characters, and how you've sort of their personality and their loves and their likes. It's all in that one document, and you just quickly go over there and go, oh, yeah.
I love
So yeah,
thought I was going to be a big time writer and I'm going to get on Scribner. And I was like, oh, this is too much.
do
So I
it.
ran back. And where I keep my notes is at the very bottom. I literally have the word notes. And I'm like, one, remember to do this, remember that, remember that, Yeah. So I'm big time. I'm big time.
Oh gosh, yes.
Do you use Scribner or Canva? Well, Google Docs to send it.
Yeah.
What other tricks for new and aspiring authors?
Oh, Pro Writing Aid is a good one. Grammarly as well. I have Grammarly on as I'm writing, not that I really use it. It's just the quick ones. If I've spelt something wrong, I quickly go up. I do write in Aussie English, and all my stories are based in Australia. So the bikers are Australian. They're all in little towns around Perth. So um, I utilize that with put it through the Pro Writing Aid with that, and even Grammarly, I've got it set for Australian English. So um, yeah, they're the main things that I use. I utilize, those other books. I've got like a beat sheet, and it's a white book with some red writing. Um, and I've got another one
I
for
was
the
the
naughty words.
typewriter.
Hey,
The red and white and black. Is that the lady with the
yes,
typewriter? Romancing
I
the Beat.
think yeah, I think so. Yes, so I've got a few of those books that I go into when I'm trying to figure out and not use certain words and a bit smoother.
Okay, so do you follow a beat sheet though?
No,
Okay.
I don't follow anything. I just see something and go, see if I can find a better way to write that. And I research and it's funny because I'll find six ones that I like and then I mash them together.
Mhm. Yeah, because they have I can't remember who it's by, but it's like an encyclopedia of physical reactions or an encyclopedia of like emotional responses. So they have
Oh,
the,
I did do up a document of like legs, arms, head, facial expressions, like movements. Not that I've used it yet. I keep forgetting that I've done it, but I went on, what's it called? Pinterest
Mhm.
and collected it. If you looked it up, like face stuff, there was these big write-ups. So I just copied and pasted them into a document. So I had them there for like, and my idea was to print them and put them around my writing area so I could quickly find them without searching for them. But I haven't done that yet.
Okay, that is super smart because, they can only like sigh or roll their eyes or shrug or groan so much.
Yes.
I like
So I'm looking for new words to do it. So I just keep going on Pinterest and looking up different things and seeing if I see something, I put it in a document. So I need to print that. I actually need to print that document out.
that is so smart. That's a good tip. So do you have time for rapid fire questions
Yep.
since we're almost towards the end?
Yes.
Okay, no pressure. So do you prefer paperback or e-reader to read?
E-reader, yeah, e-reader to read, paperback to show.
I know. I love paperbacks. But I'm like you, I want to lay in bed with the lights off and then I want to read.
AJ, yes, AJ Ashton. I just seen Chris put it up. Yes, that's who it is.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, she's phenomenal. Like her work on her graphic.
She's brilliant. Even her book, I love reading her books. They're brilliant.
She's one of those talented graphic people that can be on social media.
Agreed. Yes,
Are you a plotter or a pantser?
definitely a pantser.
Do you write in first person or third person?
Yes.
Do you write in past tense or present tense on the first?
Oh, if you read it from the very first chapter, both. I mean, for the very first time I've written it, both.
I don't know how you
Not
do
meaning, not meaning to.
that. Oh,
Just, um, but no, in present, like just as is, like as today.
yeah, it's challenging because, like the next day you want to write about what happened last night, but you have to use past tense because you're like, and then yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
just again that's why
Yes.
we're authors and not editors.
Correct.
Are you plot driven or character driven?
Both. Um, the plot definitely puts me in one direction, but then the characters drag me in another. So, yeah, I'd say both.
I love that. Yeah. Do you write alone, write with a partner, or write in sprints?
Do the whole three. I do. I love the sprints because it makes me, if I'm doing sprints with somebody, like with whoever, it sort of makes me accountable. There was somebody on here, I don't know if they're still on, but CH Reese, I do a lot of sprinting with her. Um, and anybody I can sprint with, I try and do it because then I know I'm going to get it done. Writing on my own, I try to make a space for it, but life gets in the way.
Oh, yeah, because you're a busy mama.
Mm.
Well, and I think too, they're kind of like an external accountability partner.
Yeah.
So we know when someone's counting on you, that's at
Yes.
dedicated time.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Agreed.
Do you outline or do you write as you go?
Right as I go.
Do you write in silence or with music?
Both. Sometimes I write in silence because I can't concentrate. And other times music sets me off. So I think music sets me off more, but there are times where I need to really concentrate and have silence.
Like a mood writer, or doesn't music make it better or richer?
Yeah, I think so. I think it gives me inspiration of where the story's going.
I, I love that. Do you write with a deadline or at your own pace?
At the moment, I'm doing deadlines. I did Tortured Bliss the beginning at my own pace, but I've been doing deadlines lately. So
So how do you stick to the deadlines? Because that's one of the biggest challenges for authors.
kill myself at midnight.
Oh, so funny. So do you know, is it the pressure? Because Amazon, you
I'm
can't cancel deadlines. So is
uh,
it
I just tend to go, yep, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then all of a sudden I'm up going, oh my gosh, I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done. So I'm at that stage right now.
So you like the pressure.
I must do. I don't feel like I like it, but obviously I do.
Like, I am a glutton for punishment.
Yes. Oh, I love chaos, so that's probably why.
Oh, right. Okay, series or standalones?
I, I love series. I love getting to know the whole crew. Yeah.
Well, it's fun to create your own world and universe and then have all these different characters in your world. I mean, it's just, there's nothing better than
Yeah.
that.
No, I agree. I agree.
Historical setting, present day, or future tense, or future setting.
Nah, present.
Will it always be present?
Present. No, I think I like a bit of historic, but I think there's going to be a lot of homework for me, and I'm not good at homework.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I like reading it, but I don't think I could do the homework of it. But anyway, I don't know. Who knows what the future's going to bring? But
Well, we all love Bridgerton, let's be honest.
yes,
But you
yes. Well,
know
actually, I haven't seen it. I've not watched it.
what?
Yeah, I think I was talking to AJ about it, and I was saying to her, "No, I haven't watched it." She goes, "Oh, you've got to watch it." And I was like, "No, I still haven't watched that." I don't watch much TV because I tend to. I like to write. I do write at night. Well, I try to, because yeah, it's just my daughter will watch TV, and I'll be next to her, and I'll just be on the laptop. So yes.
Wait. So she has television going and you can concentrate
Oh,
enough
I
to
put
write.
these in,
Okay, I was like, wait a
but at
minute.
least I'm with her. So if I feel like I'm with her, so it's fine.
Yeah. No, I was like, how do you not get distracted?
I know.
Okay, you are probably the last Mohican that has not watched Bridgerton.
Well, I have
It,
seen The Last Mohican, so that counts.
girl, I know, right?
Yes.
That shows how old we are, but I mean, that movie was like life
It
changing.
was good.
I was
Yes.
like, I need a Daniel Day-Lewis. I need that. So I don't know who wrote that story, but that was amazing.
It was good. It was very good.
I'm with you, Sienna. Well, it has been such a fast hour that we've chatted and so much
We
fun.
have,
I appreciate it. We're going to have to do this again, especially around
yes,
your. That would be so much fun.
yes, yes, definitely,
And then we'll
definitely.
can sprint together. What works for both our time zones, and then we can sprint.
Awesome. All right, we'll book in some time. That sounds really good. I'm very excited about that.
Well, you and hubby have a great time on
Thank
your vacation.
you. We're heading home in 2 days. We've got to move hotels today, so he's just said, gone to me. Time to go. So I've got, yep, yep, yep.
Okay. Well, you guys enjoy your trip and safe travels back home.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you everyone for listening in too. Bye. How do I turn it off?